Hi everyone, this is Marcus and this is Mich, and we're just packing it in as we're heading out.
No, baby, we're packing it up, not packing it in. Packing it in means you're done.
Oh, yes, packing it up. We almost pack it in, so I think I'm probably on that.
No, we've never packed it in, baby. That's when you tell me it's over.
Well, we're talking about when we were not feeling well. But anyways, so somebody thought somebody was thinking that, but then we recovered.
Yeah, I talked her off the level.
Well, if anybody knows me, you know that I don't give up, right, guys? So anyways, so here we are. We're just getting ready to go. Right now we're in Kamloops, and it's a beautiful city, guys. I'm going to show you on our journey to the gas station because we're going to get our tanks filled. We're downtown.
Sweetie. You're going to show them once we get going. Did you hear how you framed it?
Our tank filled.
I'm going to show you. This city is beautiful. I'm going to show you on our journey to the gas station.
Yes.
Maybe.
And then
the gas station's around the corner.
Yeah, that's okay. But on our journey, then they'll see what I'm talking about. They'll see the inclination of the city. Like, it's very hilly, very, I don't know.
It's a beautiful city. Too bad you didn't get to show them like last night.
Yeah, because the camera was dead. The battery was dead on the camera, so I couldn't show you. Oh my goodness.
That was great.
So
we lucked out. The Lord blessed us.
Yes, so we have so many stories, but this story is regarding when I thought that something was wrong with the camera. I used my laptop charger instead of the regular charger because I wanted to make sure that it charged properly. Went to sleep, and I didn't really need all that juice, but I was just overzealous. Anyway, in the morning, by the time we woke up, there was no power in the camera. So I thought, okay, what is happening here? So then what I did, I ended up, I was feeling like overwhelmed. I was feeling like, okay, that's it. We don't have a camera anymore. But then my hubby, he decided, let's just take a look and see what are the remedies for situations like this. So he looked up on Google, our friend.
Like a real man, I Googled it. And it said, you might have a dead battery. We didn't know there was a battery inside it. So we thought it was...
No, I know there's a battery, but I didn't know, I wasn't thinking of it. So when he came across the information, we were able to get a battery at Best Buy. And we locked out because the Best Buy was right around the corner of the hotel. We were able to get the 2 batteries, and unfortunately the battery, though it was alive, had 5%. So I had just a little juice to get a little bit of information somewhere on our journey here. We were still in Edmonton. No, where were we? We're in Alberta.
We were in Edmonton. Yeah, that's Edmonton. Right. Alberta's a province. Edmonton's a city.
No,
we got it in Edmonton, sweetie. We got it yesterday, my love, before we left. We went and got our dinner.
No, a little bit in BC, sorry. We got a little bit of video in BC, but we didn't get in Kamloops. Just the outskirts of BC where we see Welcome to BC. It was when we saw the nice...
Okay, we get ready for an amazing gas tank excursion. Well, let's go.
Okay, guys, just watch for us coming soon. hope you enjoy that view as we did.
The Harley's engine roared to life just after they fueled up in Kamloops, known as the tournament capital of Canada. The air warm already, carrying the scent of dry earth and sagebrush. Mark adjusted his gloves, taking a steadying breath that came easier now, the remnants of his cold mostly gone, replaced by the calm anticipation of reaching Abbotsford to see his brother. Mich climbed on behind him, tightening her arms around his waist, she asked, her voice soft in the quiet morning.
Ready for another stretch?
Yes, my love. I am ready.
Mark was feeling stronger, the stiffness of the past few days loosening as he eased the bike onto Highway 5, southbound, the road unspooling before them in the gentle glow of a rising sun. As they rolled through downtown, Mich felt the shift in the air. The dry warmth was a welcome relief after the crisp mountain air, and the scent of sagebrush and pine was replaced by the earthy aroma of dry grass under a bright July sun. Kamloops sprawled across the meeting point of the Thompson River's north and south branches, surrounded by sage-covered hills and layered ridges that turned gold in the evening light. The city's name came from the Sequapemsi word Kamloops, meaning meeting of the waters, a reminder of the deep indigenous history rooted in the region. Mich said over the comm, her eyes scanning the bright blue sky.
Do you know Kamloops has over 2,000 hours of sunshine every year? No wonder it feels like a warm hug here.
Makes sense why they host so many outdoor sports tournaments. You could practically live outside year-round.
They passed the Kamloops Heritage Railway, where the old steam engine, the 2141 Spirit of Kamloops, sometimes rumbled down the tracks, a living memory of the region's railway history. Mich pointed it out, her eyes lighting up.
Someday, we should take a ride on that train.
Next trip, when we're not covered in bugs and leather.
They pulled over near Riverside Park, the lush green expanse stretching along the Thompson River's banks. Locals strolled along the walking paths while children played near the splash park and dragon boats glided silently on the water.
I read that Kamloops is home to one of the oldest golf courses in Canada, the Kamloops Golf and Country Club.
Mich added, digging into her mental notes she had gathered for the trip.
And that it has over 100 lakes within an hour's drive, perfect for fishing. If I wasn't on this bike, I'd have a fishing rod in my hand.
They parked the Harley and stretched their legs, walking toward the riverbank. The water sparkled under the sun, and in the distance they could see the layered ridges of the Silt Bluffs, a unique geological formation that made the Kamloops landscape stand out against the blue sky. The downtown area buzzed quietly with patio diners and small local shops, many displaying indigenous art and handmade crafts, while musicians strummed guitars in shaded corners. Mich loved the energy, laid back, yet alive, framed by the dry hills that seemed to catch fire during sunsets with deep oranges and reds. They stopped for a coffee at a small cafe near Victoria Street, and Mich pulled out her phone to snap pictures of the colourful murals that decorated downtown alleyways, part of the city's vibrant arts scene. She said between sips of her iced coffee,
Did you know Kamloops is one of Canada's top mountain biking destinations? The Kamloops Bike Ranch is apparently the largest municipal bike park in North America.
Maybe next time we're here, we'll swap the Harley for mountain bikes.
Only if we're guaranteed a hot tub after.
Tay-Book looked at each other. The sun was still bright, and the hills around Kamloops turned a dusky rose, and the warm breeze carried the scent of wildflowers and pine. Mark and Mich returned to the Harley, sliding on their helmets as the engine rumbled to life once more. Kamloops, with its wild beauty, sun-kissed hills and river pathways, felt like a necessary pause in their journey, a warm cradle between the mountain chills they had endured and the valley breezes that would soon welcome them as they made their way toward Abbotsford.
I can see why people fall in love with this place.
It's like a little desert dream in the middle of the mountains.
And with that, they pulled back onto the highway, the Harley's shadow stretching long on the road as they chased the last light west, carrying the warmth and memory of Kamloops with them into the approaching twilight.
Goodbye, Kamloops, land of 2,000 hours of sunshine and questionable motel art.
Hey, you loved that sad bear painting in the lobby.
It was like it was staring into my soul while holding a salmon. Very supportive vibes.
Don't worry, it's probably on a t-shirt somewhere.
Look at that river, shining like it's trying too hard.
That sounds just like me in high school.
Only difference is the river doesn't wear Axe body spray.
That's fair. This river is definitely classier.
After leaving the sun-warmed slopes of Kamloops, Mich and Mark guided the red Harley onto Highway 5, descending into the Nicola Valley, where Merritt nestled quietly among rolling hills, dry grasslands, and glinting lakes. Passing through small communities before Merritt, Mich was observing the area and said to Mark,
You know we're in the real BC interior when every sign is either fresh corn or antiques.
Or garage sale today with a sad arrow.
Ooh, should we stop for a vintage lawn gnome?
Only if it comes with a matching broken chair.
The chair's the real antique, sweetie.
They enter Merritt, country music capital of Canada.
We have arrived in Nashville North.
Mich thought that Mark was being ridiculous when he said,
Please don't sing.
No, I am not trying out for Canadian Idol. Perhaps we should get someone to serenade us. Jolene, please fix these roads, Jolene.
You're fired from the band.
They both laughed. Then they passed murals of Johnny Cash and Shania Twain.
Look at these murals. They're so intense. Like if Johnny Cash were here, he'd probably just stare us down for not riding a horse.
Or he'd join us on the Harley and eat gas station jerky.
That's so true, sweetie. He would join us. He'd totally ride pillion, sunglasses on, not saying a word.
As they approached, the scent of sagebrush and pine returned, layered with the soft sweetness of wildflowers dancing in the warm summer breeze. The landscape was a patchwork of golden fields, ranch fences, and distant blue hills, with cattle grazing under the vast sky.
Merritt is like a little cowboy town, you know.
Fits the vibe. I feel like I should have spurs on my boots.
Merritt is known as the country music capital of Canada, a title it earned proudly through years of hosting the Merritt Mountain Music Festival, which once drew tens of thousands of country fans to this small city each summer. Even though the festival had ended, its spirit remained in the murals of country artists that brightened the town's walls, the guitar sculptures on street corners, and the music that played softly from speakers downtown. They rolled down Kilchena Avenue, Merritt's historic main street, lined with Western-style storefronts and colourful murals depicting country legends and local ranching scenes. Mich snapped a quick photo of a mural of Johnny Cash painted on a brick wall, the man in black watching over the town he once performed in.
You know, Merritt has over 20 of these murals. It's like a free outdoor art gallery.
They stopped for a coffee and to stretch their legs at Spirit Square, a cozy outdoor plaza where locals gathered, and the scent of fresh baking drifted from a nearby cafe. Overhead, the sky was a clear, deep blue, and the dry warmth was a comforting embrace after the chillier mountain roads. Beyond the town, the Nicola Valley's beauty was evident in every direction, with Nicola Lake shimmering nearby, reflecting the open sky, and the surrounding grasslands providing habitat for deer, eagles, and coyotes. The region's semi-arid climate made it a unique blend of ranching and recreation, with horseback riding, fishing, and hiking all within minutes of town.
Did you know that Merritt has over 300 days of sunshine each year? No wonder it feels like we're riding through a painted landscape.
It's like the perfect riding weather.
Near the outskirts, they noticed a herd of horses grazing, tails flicking lazily, framed by the dry hills and sagebrush. Ranching was a way of life here, with families who had worked the land for generations, and rodeos remained a part of the town's cultural heartbeat. As they prepared to continue their journey, Mark's eyes traced the hills that cupped the town like protective hands.
You know, I wouldn't mind staying here for a few days.
Next time, cowboy, we've got to meet up with your brother, Norm, and Christina.
They rolled back onto the highway, Merritt's warm air following them as the landscape began to climb again, the Nicola Valley fading in the mirrors as they pressed toward the Coquihalla, carrying with them the gentle rhythm of a country town that held the sun close and sang softly with the wind. They passed Merritt, where rolling hills were dressed in golden grasses and scattered pines, and small ranch fences followed the road in crooked lines. The air was cool but not biting, layered with the scent of alfalfa and distant smoke from a farm's morning burn pile. Wisps of low fog clung to the dips in the valleys, evaporating as the sun climbed higher. Leaving the warm, sunlit plains of Merritt behind, Mich and Mark guided the Harley toward the Coquihalla Highway, Highway 5, engineering marvel and its dramatic weather swings.
Here we go. The Coquihalla.
Highway through hell, baby.
Hope you said your prayers.
The only prayer I have is that my butt doesn't fall asleep.
It's about to be a cold prayer, too.
The air cools noticeably and they zip up their jackets.
I love how the weather here changes faster than my mood on a Monday.
Or your mood when you're hungry.
Don't start. You know what happens when I get hangry.
Are you throwing stones at me, baby? I know sometimes I get moody when I get tired and hungry. Put that together and then you say, I am nasty.
Correct. But you know, we all get that way when it gets too much.
They pass misty pine forests, the air scented with cold resin.
Smells like the holidays, but with fewer in-laws.
And more bear poop.
Speaking of which, do you think the bears up here judge us?
Oh, for sure. They're like, look at these humans in leather cosplay trying to climb my mountain.
Do you feel that? The warmth coming back?
Mark grinned, the wind catching at the edges of his helmet.
Feels like a promise. Here we go.
His tone a mix of excitement and respect.
Coquihalla, the famous mountain pass.
Mich replied, tightening her grip around his waist. The Coquihalla summit sits at an elevation of 1,244 meters, 4,081 feet, making it one of the highest points on the British Columbia highway system. Built in the 1980s to create a faster route between the interior and the lower mainland, the Coquihalla was notorious for its steep grades, sharp curves, and quickly changing weather, earning it the nickname the Highway Through Hell. The road began to climb sharply, winding between thick stands of spruce and pine, the air cooling noticeably as they gained elevation. Sunlight flickered through the trees, dancing on their visors, while clouds gathered over the ridgelines in the distance, casting shadows that swept across the valleys below. Mark felt the Harley's engine strain slightly as they ascended, its deep rumble steady beneath them, while Mich could feel the drop in temperature with every curve they rounded.
Did you know the Coquihalla can drop over 20 degrees in temperature from bottom to summit?
I believe it. It's like riding into a fridge.
She laughed, but both of them zipped up their jackets higher, pulling their scarves tighter around their necks to fight the cold air pressing against them at speed. They pulled off at the Coquihalla Summit Recreation Area, where a small rest area allowed them to take in the panoramic views of the surrounding peaks and valleys. Snow still clung to the shadows of the north-facing slopes even in July, reminding them of the winter storms that made this pass infamous among truckers and travelers. At the Coquihalla Summit pullout, they pull over briefly, removing helmets.
Why is it July but also February here?
The Coquihalla doesn't care about your calendar, babes.
The Coquihalla is a moody teenager.
With a driver's license and no supervision.
They laughed as they sipped lukewarm coffee from a thermos, staring at the misty slopes.
It's beautiful, though, like the mountains are sighing.
Probably sighing at all the tourists.
Ugh, another Harley couple taking selfies.
We were here before you, and we'll be here after your GoPro battery dies.
The Coquihalla Summit Recreation Area covers 5,750 hectares of rugged alpine terrain, providing a haven for wildlife like black bears, deer, and marmots that scurry among the boulders and alpine meadows. Streams of crystal-clear meltwater cut through the landscape, creating rivulets that tumbled over rocks in silver ribbons. Standing here, it's easy to forget how rough this highway can be in winter, Mich said, snapping a photo of the rugged slopes.
Yeah, but I'd rather be on two wheels now than in a snowstorm.
The wind at the summit was sharp, crisp with the scent of pine resin and cold rock, carrying the hush of the alpine landscape even as trucks roared past in the distance. The clouds overhead moved swiftly, revealing patches of blue sky before the shadows returned, reminding them how quickly weather can change here.
It's so quiet, even with the highway.
Mich whispered, standing close to Mark, their helmets off, breathing in the thin, cold air.
Yeah, feels like we're on top of everything.
Mark replied, his eyes scanning the horizon where jagged peaks met rolling ridgelines, layered in mist and clouds. They took a moment to warm up with a thermos of hot coffee Mich had packed in the saddlebag, leaning against the Harley while the mountain wind tugged at their jackets. The summit felt like a place of transition, a threshold between the interior's dry heat and the coastal dampness that lay ahead, each gust of cold wind a reminder of the ruggedness of the British Columbia wilderness. As they prepared to continue their descent toward Hope, Mich glanced back at the summit one last time.
Goodbye, Coquihalla. Thanks for letting us pass today.
Onward to warmer air.
Mark replied, pulling down his visor, the Harley rumbling back to life. They rolled away from the summit, the road now leading downward in sweeping curves that clung to the mountainsides. As they descended, the temperature began to rise gradually, the scent of wet moss and cedar replacing the alpine cold, while mist rolled through the valleys, hinting at the coastal air waiting in the lower mainland. The Coquihalla summit had tested them with its cold winds, steep grades, and stark beauty, adding another layer of adventure to their journey, one that would become a treasured story they would tell long after the road had carried them home. They stopped briefly at a scenic turnout near the summit, the Harley rumbling low as they looked over the vast stretches of mountains and forest below, rivers glinting like silver threads far down in the valleys.
It's like being on top of the world,
Mich whispered, leaning against Mark's shoulder.
Or at least on top of British Columbia.
Mark chuckled, coughing lightly but with no pain, the air feeling clean and sharp in his lungs. As they continued their descent from the Coquihalla summit, the air grew softer and damper, hints of cedar and moss replacing the sharp alpine scent. Mist curled around the ridges and clouds clung to the slopes as they approached a place that felt both powerful and somber, the Hope Slide.
I can't believe the Hope Slide is coming up.
Yeah, one of Canada's biggest landslides. Nature's way of saying, move, I'm decorating, or oops, my bad.
They passed the grey scar of the Hope Slide.
It's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah, a reminder that everything can change in an instant.
Okay, but it's still nature's chaotic toddler moment.
A tantrum, but make it geological.
Mich had read about it before the trip and leaned forward, pressing closer to Mark.
This is it, the Hope Slide,
she said quietly through the comm. Mark eased the Harley to a stop at the viewing pullout, where an information sign stood against the backdrop of a massive grey scar cutting through the forested mountainside. On January 9th, 1965, at 7 a.m., the second largest landslide in Canadian history thundered down this slope, moving an estimated 47 million cubic meters of rock, mud, and debris. The slide buried a portion of Highway 3 under more than 70 meters of rubble, tragically taking the lives of 4 people who were waiting below due to an earlier small slide. They removed their helmets, standing in silence as they gazed across the vast field of grey boulders, jagged rock slabs in shattered earth, where nature's raw power was frozen in time. Even decades later, the slide area stood starkly against the green slopes, a solemn reminder of how quickly a landscape could change.
Can you imagine being here when it happened?
They say the slide was triggered by an earthquake, but some believe it was the instability of the mountainside. It's unreal.
Despite the tragedy, the Hope Slide had become a geological point of interest. The massive rockfall had created a small lake, Lake Outram, at the base, and over the years small trees and shrubs had begun to reclaim parts of the rubble. The air was cooler here, the elevation still high enough for the mountain breezes to carry a chill, while the silence of the place added a reverence that made Mich and Mark both pause longer than they expected. Nearby, a plaque noted the slide's history, explaining that the slide had moved at an estimated 150 kilometers per hour, covering 3 kilometers of the valley floor in seconds. It was so powerful that it created shock waves, and the debris raised the valley floor by nearly 30 meters in some places.
Standing here makes you realize how small we are.
But also how lucky we are to see this and remember.
They stood for a moment longer, letting the cool wind brush against their faces, the clouds moving quickly across the sky above the scarred slope. A lone raven flew across the slide, its wings black against the pale rocks, its call echoing in the mountain silence. Returning to the Harley, Mich took one last look at the Hope Slide.
It's amazing how the road was rebuilt right through here.
She noted how Highway 3 now curved around the debris field, a testament to human resilience and the necessity of continuing forward.
Nature takes, but life keeps moving.
The Harley rumbled to life again, the road winding down from the slide site as they made their way toward Hope. The trees grow taller, cedar and moss scent heavy in the damp air.
Ah, Hope, gateway to the Fraser Valley.
Or, as I like to call it, gateway to more gas stations.
Hope is so cute, though. It's absolutely beautiful.
Did you know they filmed Rambo here? Right here in this town. This town is famous just for that filming.
Really, I had no idea.
They see the Fraser River glinting high and wide.
The Fraser's looking all dramatic today.
That river's been working overtime for 10,000 years.
Honestly, it deserves a vacation.
It would just flood the place, to call in sick, like some people do when they want an excuse to not go to work.
They passed Hope Slide, a reminder of the powerful landslide that tore through the mountain in 1965, leaving a barren scar that contrasted with the lush greenery around it. The sun was climbing now, and with the descent from the summit, the air turned warmer, filling with the scent of cedar and the earthy aroma of wet moss from the forested canyons. Through Hope, nestled between mountains where the Fraser River curled nearby, they pulled in for fuel, the station quiet, except for the hiss of pumps and the calls of crows overhead. Mich handed Mark a water bottle, studying him carefully as he wiped his forehead.
I told you, today is your recovery day.
I think you're right.
As they left Hope, the mountains slowly pulled back, and the landscape opened into a broad green expanse, the Fraser Valley, where the air shifted to a rich, earthy dampness that clung to the breeze. The Fraser River curled like a silver ribbon beside them, reflecting the soft grey of the clouds above as it moved swiftly, carrying stories of glaciers and canyons toward the Pacific. They ride past berry farms and green fields.
Look at all these berries. It's like we're in a smoothie commercial.
One of those overpriced organic smoothie commercials.
Handpicked by local vibes only.
Infused with mountain breezes and filtered through artisanal rain.
They pass cows grazing, flicking tails lazily.
Living their best cottagecore life.
Cows are the original, slow-living influencers.
They smell fresh-cut grass and the sweet tang of raspberries.
Smells like lunch.
Sweetie, are you hungry? Didn't we just eat something? Hold on, we won't be long.
It's called planning ahead, sweetie. This is it, the Fraser Valley.
Mich said softly over the calm, her voice filled with wonder.
Feels like riding into a garden.
The Fraser Valley is one of the most fertile regions in Canada, producing berries, corn, dairy, and vegetables that feed much of British Columbia. The air was heavy with the scent of wet earth, fresh grass, and the occasional sweetness of berry fields warmed by the July sun. Rows of raspberry, blueberry, and strawberry bushes created lines of deep green and bright pops of red, with workers moving between the rows, picking in the morning light. Mount Cheam looms, its snow cap visible.
Look, Mount Cheam, isn't she stunning?
She's a queen, and she knows it.
She's like, you can take your Instagram pictures, but I don't need your validation.
They pass roadside signs, fresh corn, berry you pick, honey.
If we stopped at every farm stand, we'd never get to Abbotsford.
But we'd be fed forever.
I'd be okay with that.
As they rolled past Chilliwack, snow-capped Mount Cheam and her sisters stood sentinel over the valley, their white peaks cutting sharply against the blue-grey sky. The Harley moved smoothly along the Trans-Canada Highway, the hum of the engine blending with the rustling of poplar and cottonwood leaves.
Did you know this valley was shaped by the Fraser River over thousands of years, carrying silt from as far as the Rockies?
Guess that's why everything grows so well here.
They stopped briefly at a roadside farm stand near Rosedale, where Mich bought a small punnet of fresh blueberries, popping a few into Mark's mouth.
Tastes like the valley.
Mich laughed as Mark's eyes widened from the burst of sweetness. With the Harley parked, they could hear the distant calls of sandhill cranes and the soft mooing of cows from nearby pastures. The valley was alive in a way the mountains were not, pulsing with the quiet rhythm of growth and gentle living. As they rode on, they passed Desroches and Lake Eric, the small communities nestled between forested hills and rivers that shone in the dappled sunlight breaking through the clouds. The Fraser River often came into view, broad and confident, flowing beside cottonwood forests that provided homes to bald eagles and herons, their dark silhouettes occasionally sweeping across the sky.
Fraser Valley is also known for its mild climate, right?
Mich asked, feeling the air warm around them, the humidity sticking lightly to their skin.
Yeah, That's why they can grow berries and vegetables almost year-round here.
They passed the Harrison River's confluence with the Fraser, seeing boats drifting lazily as anglers tried for salmon and sturgeon. Beyond, the valley floor was dotted with family farms, red barns, and clusters of dairy cows grazing against the backdrop of the towering mountains still standing guard in the distance. Near Mission, the terrain rose slightly, giving them a glimpse of the Fraser River winding below like a moving mirror, the farmlands stretching to the south, and beyond them the rise of the North Cascades hinting at the American border not too far away.
Smells like rain.
Mark commented as clouds gathered, the air thickening.
It'll pass, I am sure. You said the valley is like that.
Rain did come, but it was a soft drizzle, a mist that cooled their warmed skin and made the world smell of wet cedar, earth, and fresh grass. They didn't mind, it felt like a baptism after the dust of the road. Finally, as the road signs began to indicate Abbotsford, the city emerged like a quilt of green fields, suburban homes, and stretches of tree-lined streets. Known as the city in the country, Abbotsford blended the rural and the urban seamlessly, cradled in the Fraser Valley's lush embrace. The farmland blends into stretches of tree-lined roads and suburban homes.
The city in the country? Sounds like a Hallmark movie?
Let me guess. Big city girl falls for the berry farmer.
Exactly. She's allergic to berries, but love conquers all.
And they get married under Mount Baker.
Stop. You're going to make me cry.
They slow as they enter Abbotsford, the scent of cut hay and rain-dampened earth welcoming them.
We are almost there, baby.
Yay! I can't wait for what will happen next.
You've been suspiciously cheerful about today.
Suspicious? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sweetie, what did you do?
Nothing. I am just excited to be here with you and meet up with Norm and Christina. That's all.
As the red Harley rumbled gently off the highway, it carried with it the memory of each town, each sarcastic comment, and each burst of laughter, woven into the road's hum beneath them. Alive and together, Mich and Mark rode into Abbotsford, ready for the next chapter of their journey.
As long as you're with me, I'm ready for anything.
Even if I sing Jolene?
Mark paused.
Almost anything.
They laughed together, the journey's warmth lingering in the air. Mark's spirit felt light, the fever days behind him now. The ride was smooth, the wind softer, warm enough for Mich to loosen her jacket zipper, letting the breeze cool her neck as they neared Abbotsford, where they would stop and prepare for Mark's birthday dinner with his brother and his fiancée. As they crossed into Abbotsford city limits, Mount Baker rose in the distance, a white-capped sentinel watching over the valley, its snow shining in the afternoon light. The city smelled of farmland, fresh air, and the promise of rest.
Thank you for today.
Her eyes were bright.
For this trip. For every minute with you, my love. You're the best riding partner. You make it easier for me to ride, even when I am not feeling my best.
Mich smiled, already thinking about the secret birthday dinner she had planned with Christina, Mark's brother's fiancée. She was ready to celebrate his life and recovery after the miles they had conquered together. Above them, the sky was wide and welcoming, the ride so beautiful in the warm sun as they approached warmer weather. The red Harley soared beneath them like a faithful companion that had carried them through the prairies, the mountains and valleys, to a place where healing and joy fully embraced them.
Where are we, baby?
Abbotsford.
We are in Abbotsford, and
British
we're visiting.
Columbia. We're in Abbotsford, British Columbia.
Yeah, we're visiting Mark's brother, and we're just heading around the corner to our destination. So, just gonna show you the city a little bit. It's very
Quaint.
quaint is the word. You took it right out of my mouth.
Very touristy looking.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of
And we're here.
It's been quite an exhilarating ride.
It has.
The beauty of the roads and the mountains, and oh my gosh, it was breathtaking. I have never seen anything like that before. I thought I saw mountains, but that was the top of the line.
Yeah, that wasn't mountains you've seen, that was skyscrapers.
I'm telling you, it was amazing, and I hope when you see that video, you'll be like, your jaw will be dropping, and you'll be like wanting to actually experience it yourself. That's awesome. Creation is vast, and it is so. There's so much to discover, and I mean, I'm so glad that we got the privilege to do this together. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great ride, and yeah, I'm really impressed with BC. I thought Alberta was beautiful, but when I saw BC coming through, I was shocked. I was surprised. It was so breathtaking, just naturally beautiful. There was nothing to it in terms of any changes or any amendment to the environment. The only thing we know for sure is that people are building up the area just to have houses and so on, residential areas. But outside of that, just a natural habitat. Amazing. So I hope you enjoyed that video too. Right, baby?
Yes, I hope you did. She worked hard.
Yeah. And my hubby's now, this is a younger version of him.
727339. We are doing a national study in Canada, and I will
Yeah.
message erased.
Spam calls on the phone.
Yeah, we don't.
Send a voice message, press.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, bye.
That key is
Ciao.
not active. Thank
As
you
usual,
for
we
calling.
say, let's
Goodbye.
keep it real.
Let's keep it real. Bye.
Bye.